Alright guys, what's up? This is my third YouTube video where I'm sharing my journey about becoming the best version of myself. Okay, so apparently, make some YouTube videos. That's what I'm doing. I want to talk about how I'm learning about trading, okay? Because the thing about trading is that it's like one of those things that gives you potential to make a lot of money. Specifically make money in ways that are outside of hourly work. But it's still work, and it's still challenging, and it still takes your time and whatever. But, it's designed in a way that you can make like huge amounts in a short time. So that's attractive. It's attractive to a lot of people, and I'm under the impression that like 75% of people fail at it. And also, we have resources like this paper trade thing, right? So, paper trade is where you can trade with fake money, but you're, accessing the actual stock market. So, you can really test yourself and see if you're good at it. Even though paper trade doesn't have like the psychological implications of risking your own money, that's kind of like the trade off. But it seems like a good way to learn. So yeah, a few things about stocks that I want to talk about is that it's really hard for me to get over the internal obstacles about like where does this money come from? Because I don't think it really comes from good places, and that feeling definitely gets in my way. Like I personally can't look at a precious minerals stock without seeing in my head these people in Africa or maybe other places too where they're just like in horrible conditions against their will, and just seems so fucking horrible, like the way that mining exists in this world today. And I'm gonna go ahead and share that like I've heard about like annunaki shit, which is like these extraterrestrial beings that have come to the planet and specifically just want to mine for gold. And like they have this like apathetic way of like wanting to just enslave humanity and like not really like caring in the way that like humans and like other extraterrestrials like care. Like the Anunnaki are specifically like ones that don't care, and it's kind of scary. Like today we have like humans that are psychopaths, and like they're the people who don't care. They don't have like that what I'll call normal like sense of like human compassion and empathy. I'm kind of like maybe the opposite. Like I'm like an empath and a healer, and like I think that's why when I look at like Forex, I think of slave labor. I don't think everybody does that. I think a lot of people don't. Like they just look at the charts, like they're not thinking. And I think that people who are like flexing, like with, and that's what they call it. They call it flexing, right? Like, or aura farming or whatever. But it's like, look at me on my private jet where like I'm extracting so much fucking oil and like hurting the environment, but it's a flex, and then like look at me and my watch where like, your fucking quartz came from those same mines that I'm talking about, where it's like, it's not good. Okay? Like oil is not good. Harvesting minerals from the earth is not good. Blowing shit up is not good. Like these things are like unfortunately really common. And so it's like, yeah, fuck the stock market. Are you kidding me? Like the stock market is like the epitome of people profiting in the worst ways. Period. So it's a huge block for me. Like I just fucking hate it. So there's things like environmental social governance stocks and ETFs, where like they have to meet certain basic requirements, which is great. I see that that's happening. It's wonderful. I don't trust it, but I think conceptually it's great. They're trying to say like, hey, if you're one of those people that care, ding, 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 like, here's some stocks that have been filtered. They don't supposedly destroy the environment, and they do supposedly help social justice, and they are like somehow helpful on a governmental level. Okay, like that's kind of like the point of some of these filters, and you can do that, and you can just filter them out. And then also regarding trade, like I wanted to say that I kind of like it. Like I feel like I'm good at it. When I do look at just the numbers and the charts and the analysis, like I see it. Like it's very clear to me, like which fucking direction shit's going in. And you just place your bets, your gambling on like which direction you think it's gonna go. And so yeah, I'm restarting my paper trade account on TradingView. And I'm here to celebrate, that my first paper trade won, because I just look at it and I can see, and I'm like, oh, it's going up, and it's going to go up this much, and then it does, and then I win. So yeah, now I'm kind of like staring at this chart where I put my little lines, and my first line says, if it hits this line, then I'm going to take profit up to here, And then what happened was like the chart kind of like was going down, and it like came kind of close to that line, but it didn't, break resistance. And so I didn't bet on it, and it went back down. So I'm just like waiting. And now I'm going to see if like now it's kind of like going down and down and down. I'm going to like wait and see when it comes back up again. Personally, I'm not trying to like do the thing where I'm also betting on it going down. That's kind of like the next level. I don't know what they call it, like swing something, where you can just like bet in either direction. I mean, that's cool. It kind of reminds me of like being like a surfer on a boat, or like, you're like going with the waves, going this way and going this way, and you're just like riding the waves like that. I think that's kind of what people who are good at trading do. So yeah, it's super tempting. It's definitely like up my sleeve around what are some ways that I can make money to support my dreams. It also like is not my dreams. Like, you know what I mean? Like sitting on the fucking computer, like making a lot of money. It's not my dream. I want to build houses. And maybe this is like how I can get money to build houses. Like if I make a bunch of money with trading, like I'm just gonna put it towards architecture. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just learning about the stock market I think is good and useful or whatever, and it kind of helps you also learn about like world news and the economy and things, and watching how it's all related. Like we're already, pissed off about shit, and so it's like, how do we just watch that fuel affect people who think, very differently than me, about where to put their money and stuff like that. So that's what this video is about, is just kind of connecting like financial goals to the stock market, and how there's a lot of like feelings that I personally have that are in the way. And so part of my journey is like getting through those feelings, just kind of also like accepting on some level this is just how it is, and then having the autonomy to decide what is or isn't aligned with my values enough in a way that I'm willing to either profit or not from something like this. So I'm curious about other like traders that have done like the emotional work around it and where they allocate their money. Definitely curious. Peace and love.